Chosen one, stop immediately. Do not scroll past this message. I am not asking for your attention today. I am warning you. What I am about to expose is a trap disguised as an answered prayer. There is a man who has entered your life or is positioning himself to enter your space right now who looks perfectly aligned with your destiny. He says the right things. He arrived at the perfect time, but heaven intercepted your path today because you are walking blindfolded into a spiritual ambush. You have been asking God for a divine connection. You have been waiting for someone who understands the weight of your calling. And then this person appeared to mirror your depth. He speaks the language of your soul. But notice what happens to your energy when he is near or when he leaves. You do not feel the peace that comes from a divine appointment. You feel a strange, heavy pressure in your chest. Your spirit feels completely exhausted after interacting with him. You find yourself waking up at 3 in the morning with a heavy sense of finality. You are constantly draining your own life force to keep the connection alive. You tell yourself that you are overthinking and just adjusting to something good. Let me reframe your reality right now. That is not overthinking. It is profound spiritual discernment, crying out from your spirit. Your body recognizes a counterfeit long before your mind accepts it. The enemy tempts a seer with a counterfeit blessing that looks exactly like an answered prayer. Take a deep breath right now. Notice that slight tension in your chest, that quiet resistance pulling at the edge of your mind. That is not random unease. That is your spirit trying to warn you about the person you were just thinking about. He studies your desires and presents a mirror image with a hollow core. He was not sent to protect your light, he was sent to siphon it. He is a divine interception sent by the darkness to derail your current season of preparation. You are a cycle breaker. You carry a frequency that changes the atmosphere of any room you walk into. Because you are chosen, you are also targeted by things that do not want to see you rise. But something has been confusing you deeply. You usually read people instantly and see the hidden intentions behind every smile. Yet with him your vision went completely offline and your intuition became utterly silent. You have been blaming yourself for this blind spot. You thought your spiritual sight was failing. Now I want to pause and hold something in front of you before we continue. Over the past few years, a small group of neuroscientists found something about the way the human brain is designed. They discovered something from a research laboratory that explains what most spiritually sensitive people have felt but could never name. They found that modern environments cause a specific neurological suppression, a neural level theft that literally shuts down your intuitive receiver and disconnects your deep awareness. I am going to tell you exactly what they found and how to restore it later in this message. But right now, hold this question. What if the reason your discernment suddenly went blind around him is not because your spirit is weak, but because your receiver was deliberately jammed? You keep asking yourself why you are so deeply tired, the kind of tired that sits deep in your bones and refuses to leave even after a full night of rest. You spend hours in his presence and walk away feeling as if your life force has been slowly drained from your physical body. You try to convince yourself that it is just the stress of your daily life. You tell yourself that you are giving too much energy to your work or your obligations. But notice the exact pattern. The exhaustion peaks the moment he enters your space and only begins to lift hours after he is gone. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are just being too sensitive. The world will tell you that you are overthinking the relationship or expecting too much. They want you to believe that your intense emotional reactions are a flaw in your personality. But what you are experiencing is not an emotional flaw. It is a spiritual alert system screaming at you from the inside. Your soul is constantly fighting an unseen battle every single time you are near him. You are engaging in spiritual warfare over a simple cup of coffee, and you do not even realize it. He does not take from you by force. The darkness rarely works that way against a chosen one, because you would recognize a direct attack immediately. Instead, he takes from you by making you feel like you need to heal him. He presents himself as someone who is almost perfect but just slightly broken. He gives you just enough vulnerability to trigger your calling as a restorer and a cycle breaker. You are naturally drawn to places that need light. And he is a void, disguised as a wounded traveler. You pour your holy oil into his cup, but his cup has no bottom. You have been justifying his behavior to your family and to yourself by calling him misunderstood. You tell yourself that he just needs a little more time and a little more of your grace. Heaven calls him something else entirely. I am going to reveal his true spiritual classification in a moment, but you must understand how he found you first. You need to know the exact signal your spirit was sending out that attracted this specific type of counterfeit, because he did not arrive by a random sequence of events. He found you right when you were most tired of fighting your battles alone. He arrived at the exact moment you asked heaven for a partner to help carry the heavy atmosphere you constantly shift. The enemy watched your quiet prayers. He saw the coordinates of your vulnerability and dispatched a mirror image to intercept your real provision. This man mirrors your vocabulary, and he mirrors your spiritual depth. But when you look closely at the fruit of his actions, they are completely hollow. He knows the words of the kingdom, but he does not carry the weight of the kingdom. Someone else actually saw this coming. Heaven sent a warning through a brief conversation you had weeks ago, and you completely ignored it. Think back to a person who briefly met him or observed you two together and made a passing comment that made you unusually defensive. You brushed it off as them simply not understanding the deep connection you two share. Remember that strange interaction. Stay with me, because that was your first sign. Heaven was using an outside voice because your internal receiver was already being jammed by his constant presence. Your pure desire for an authentic connection was weaponized against you. You are carrying the weight of two souls while he comfortably rests on the daily sacrifices you make. He wants your anointing without the severe discipline required to maintain it. He wants to bathe in your light without having to endure the isolated fire that produced it. The longer you stay attached to this false structure, the longer your true destiny is delayed. The timeline is pausing right now, because heaven refuses to build your next empire on a foundation that includes him. You think you are losing a relationship or a divine connection. You are not losing a relationship. You are being rescued from an assignment that was never yours to carry. The darkness knows it cannot defeat you in a direct confrontation because your spiritual armor is too thick. So it sends a counterfeit, wrapped in the exact packaging you have been praying for. This is not about human compatibility or earthly love. This is pure spiritual warfare taking place in the unseen realm, right in your living room. The heavy atmosphere you feel when he speaks is the physical manifestation of two completely incompatible frequencies colliding. If you feel a sudden urge to scroll away or skip forward right now, I need you to recognize exactly what is happening. The enemy always creates a sudden distraction right before his disguise is completely removed. He will make your mind wander or make you feel suddenly tired. He is terrified of what you are about to hear. Do not give him that victory today. Stay anchored to this truth. He targeted you because your light is dangerous to his kingdom, but he also knew your greatest vulnerability. Your deepest blind spot is your endless capacity for grace. You extend grace to people who only deserve firm boundaries. You look at a person and see their highest potential instead of their current reality. This man uses your own spiritual gifts against you. He weaponizes your empathy and turns your compassion into a chain. When he acts out of alignment, he makes sure to show you a quick glimpse of fake remorse. He throws you tiny crumbs of spiritual depth to keep your hope alive and keep you invested. And because you are a restorer, you stay to fix what he repeatedly breaks. But let me reframe your reality right now, because you have been reading the signs entirely backwards. You thought the confusion you felt was a sign that you needed to try harder to understand him. The confusion was actually heaven placing a physical block between your soul and his energy field. God is literally making the connection uncomfortable, so you will finally let it go. What feels like heartbreak is actually divine protection, actively working to sever a tie you were never meant to form. Heaven sees what happens behind closed doors and is moving to rescue you. The darkness is highly systematic and relies on specific patterns to keep you trapped in a cycle of hope and disappointment. He uses exactly 3 phrases to keep your intuition sedated when you start asking the right questions. 3 specific sentences designed to make you doubt your own spiritual discernment. I'm going to walk you through them so you can hear the trap closing the next time he speaks. Once you recognize these exact words, the spell he placed over your mind will break instantly. Your spiritual vision will snap back into perfect focus. He will tell you that you are overreacting or that you are misinterpreting his actions. He will constantly say that you are the only one who truly understands him, which traps you in the role of a savior. And he will always promise that a major shift is coming very soon, but tomorrow never arrives. These are not just defensive words spoken in arguments. These are hidden agreements he is trying to plant in your spirit. Every time you accept his excuses, you are unknowingly giving him permission to drain your anointing for another day. You are handing over the keys to your sacred ground. A golden cage is still a cage, even when the bars are highly polished. Just because someone smiles while they stab does not mean the knife is not real. He may admire your light, but his true desire is to control the lamp. You must stop trying to heal a person who is entirely committed to keeping you sick. The waiting season you are in right now is not a punishment for your mistakes. It is an incubation period meant to separate you from his specific frequency. Heaven is demanding your isolation because your next level requires a purity of focus that he actively destroys. I need you to hear what the Spirit actually says about this exact moment in your life. You are carrying a very specific oil on your life, and the enemy knows its exact value. In the ancient texts, there is a profound truth about those who carry this kind of heavy anointing. There were those who prepared their lamps and paid the ultimate price in the isolated wilderness to gather their own sacred oil. And then there were those who absolutely refused to do the hard work in the dark. Instead, they waited for the midnight hour and demanded that the wise simply hand over their oil when the darkness finally came. Every minute you stay locked onto this message today, a layer of the fog he placed over your mind is burning off. You are not just listening to a video, you are participating in your own divine rescue right now. The spiritual static that has been intentionally clouding your judgment is actively being cleared by the frequency of this truth. The longer you stay connected to this word, the weaker his hidden agreements become in your subconscious mind. Heaven is using this exact moment to wash your spiritual eyes so you can finally see the battlefield with perfect clarity. This man in your life operates exactly like those who demanded oil from the wise. He does not want to endure the intense spiritual warfare required to build his own authentic connection with the divine. He finds it much easier to attach himself to a chosen one and siphon the grace that you fought so hard to acquire. He wants the immense benefits of your peaceful atmosphere without ever having to face his own internal chaos. When you finally set a boundary and refuse to give him free access to your energy, he immediately plays the victim and twists the narrative. He makes you feel incredibly guilty for simply protecting the sacred ground that God commanded you to guard. But you must understand deep in your soul that protection is never a sin. Look closely at the ancient story of David and Saul. Saul looked like a king and held the official title of a mighty leader, but his internal spirit was deeply tormented and completely misaligned. He brought David into his inner circle, not to bless David, but because he desperately needed David to play music and soothe his raging demons. He wanted the comfort of the anointing without ever submitting to the authority of it. You are living out this exact spiritual dynamic in your own space right now. You are constantly playing beautiful music for a man who is secretly aiming a spear at your destiny. He demands your gentle energy to calm his constant storms, but the moment your light shines too bright and threatens his ego, he throws spears of doubt and confusion at you in the dark. You cannot heal a person who is secretly committed to throwing spears at your sacred calling. Your gentleness was never meant to be a permanent shield for the rebellion of someone else. This constant spiritual warfare is exactly why your physical body is breaking down and your nervous system feels completely overwhelmed. You are trying with all your might to sustain a connection that heaven is actively trying to dismantle. What feels like intense heartbreak and personal failure is actually a massive divine rescue mission set in motion by the angels. The heavy atmosphere you feel around him is the physical weight of two completely incompatible destinies pulling in opposite directions. The timeline of your accelerated fulfillment cannot activate as long as you remain anchored to a counterfeit blessing. Heaven documented every single time you poured out your pure heart and received nothing but subtle manipulation in return. Every tear you shed in confusion was recorded in the courts of heaven as solid evidence against the assignment sent to break you. God is not asking you to try harder or to communicate better with this person. Heaven is issuing a divine relocation order for your spirit today. You are being called to step completely out of his energetic zip code, so your true provision and your true union can finally locate you. There is something I said near the beginning of this message that I want to return to right now. I asked you to hold a crucial question about what happens when the human brain operates the way it was originally designed to operate, about why your intuition went completely blind around him and how specifically it can be returned to you. The answer to that question is where this message is going next. We are at the threshold of that revelation now, because the solution requires you to see the true shape of the problem clearly before the restoration can begin. This is where it gets confrontational. What I am about to say will reach places inside you that you have been hiding from yourself. Listen closely, because the truth refuses to stay silent any longer. You have been waiting for him to finally wake up and realize your incredible value. You thought that if you just loved him harder and forgave him one more time, his potential would finally manifest. But heaven is pulling back the curtain right now to show you his true nature. He is not a broken man seeking healing. He is a spiritual counterfeit, deliberately sent to keep your frequency anchored to the floor. The enemy knows that a chosen one operating at full capacity is a massive threat to the kingdom of darkness. So he did not send a monster to destroy you. He sent a mirror image to distract you. He sent someone who mimics your depth just enough to keep you deeply invested, while quietly siphoning the divine energy you were supposed to use for your kingdom assignment. This is the exact reason why your usually sharp intuition went completely blind around him. You were looking for a spiritual attack, but the darkness bypassed your spiritual defenses and went straight for your physiological receiver. The constant emotional roller coaster he put you on was not an accident. It was a calculated strategy to flood your nervous system with stress and create a literal fog over your mind. He kept you guessing with breadcrumbs of affection, followed by days of cold silence. That specific cycle was designed to disconnect the right and left hemispheres of your brain. It was a literal neural level theft, intended to lock you out of the higher dimensions of clarity, where the voice of God actually speaks. He jammed your internal radar by keeping your brain in a constant state of survival. You could not hear the warnings from heaven because the biological receiver in your mind was deliberately knocked offline by his chaotic energy. Your spirit knew the truth, but the signal could not get through the physical fog. You agreed with a hidden lie without even knowing it. The enemy convinced you that your divine assignment was to act as a human rehabilitation center for toxic souls. You arranged your inner architecture around the belief that you must suffer to earn an authentic connection. But listen to me carefully. The betrayal of your intuition was not your fault. Your heart was pure, but you handed your divine pearls to someone who only understood dirt. You are a demonstrated warrior of light, and you were never meant to be a permanent feeding ground. The truth is fully exposed now, and the hidden agreement is permanently broken. If you leave now, you walk back into his presence with a bleeding wound and no armor. Do not step back onto the battlefield without the exact protocol heaven provided to restore your defenses. The enemy is desperately hoping you click away, because he knows that once your internal receiver is repaired, his disguise will never work on you again. Stay right here and let this revelation settle deep into your spirit. What I am about to show you is going to connect something you have felt in your own experience with something discovered in a research laboratory. And that connection is going to explain something about your life that nothing else has quite explained before. The fog that he created in your mind is not just a spiritual metaphor. It is a physical disruption happening between the two hemispheres of your brain. Your spiritual blindness was caused by a profound neural disconnection. You cannot fight a physiological suppression with just more willpower or more tears. When the receiver is broken, the frequency of heaven cannot land the way it was designed to land, but the receiving condition I am describing is entirely restorable, not through more effort or trying harder to focus. It is restorable through something a team of scientists spent 20 years building. The solution only becomes useful once you understand the full shape of the problem it solves, and you now understand the shape perfectly. In 1981, something was proven in a laboratory that most people sitting in spiritual communities have never been told about. Dr. Roger Sperry received the Nobel Prize for his research on the human brain and its two separate hemispheres. He discovered that these two sides were originally designed for profound synchronization. When your brain operates in this whole brain activation state, you possess an unbreakable, intuitive clarity. 98% of children operate at this creative genius level, but less than 1 in 1,000 adults maintain it. Modern life and prolonged spiritual warfare gradually erode this vital connection. The exhaustion and the blind spots you experienced with that counterfeit man were not a spiritual failure. They were a physiological reality caused by a disrupted neural state. When the enemy creates constant stress, he systematically suppresses this genius switch from the time we are young, rendering it mostly deactivated. Your powers and your divine discernment have been stolen from you at the neural level. A woman from California described what it felt like before she found the exact solution. She had tried everything from intense prayer to meditation, but she kept arriving at the same foggy experience until something finally cleared. After 10 days, a channel that had been severely blocked was suddenly wide open, not because she tried harder, but because her physical receiver was repaired. A man from Texas described something very similar after years of holding things together for everyone around him. 2 weeks later, he woke up and described his mind as running on all cylinders, and the fog that had been so consistent was entirely gone. That is because of what a team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York, spent years building. They took over an hour of clinical neural sync technology, the exact kind of whole brain activation protocol used in specialized medical settings. Through an intensive compression process, they turned it into an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. 8 minutes a day with headphones and your eyes closed is the entirety of the physical requirement. They call it the genius switch. The genius switch uses a profound mechanism that completely bypasses the conscious noise. It is not a basic brainwave product. It is not a meditation app, and it is not a sound frequency designed to put you in a particular mood. It is a targeted auditory sequence specifically engineered to reconnect the two hemispheres and restore the whole brain activation that was your default state in childhood. If you have tried basic binaural beats and found them underwhelming, Dr. Barone addresses this directly because sound waves alone are incomplete. The genius switch is not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who understands that God prepared not only the promise, but the mind that must physically walk into it. It is for the person who has been sincere for years, who has done the heavy lifting, and who is willing to stop treating their brain fog as a character flaw. Most people who hear about this will scroll past because they have accepted the reduced version of their mind as permanent. You are still here, and that specific persistence belongs to the person this was built for. Colleagues suggested this would be an incredible value, even at $500. In-person neurofeedback sessions cost $300 an hour, and home machines cost thousands, but the team released it at $49 to make it accessible. Today, on this page, there is an additional $10 off, making it $39. Dr. Barone cut the middlemen out, so people who could never fly to his New York office could still access this restoration. Plus, you receive 4 free bonuses, including a guided visualization from a top-rated creator, a smart grocery guide, a classic manifestation text, and a printable habits infographic. It is backed by a 100% unconditional money-back guarantee, meaning if it does not do what it has done for over 18,000 people, every dollar is returned with no conditions. One thing worth naming directly is that if you search online platforms for similar tracks, you will find fakes with no neural sync technology embedded. The direct page is the only verified source. I need to be completely clear about something right now. Pages like this one have a way of disappearing, and the link below will not be there forever. The enemy would like nothing more than for you to postpone this until the door is entirely gone. If your spirit resonates with what has been described, the link in the description below and in the pinned comment points to where his team made it available. You can read every single detail clearly on their page before making any decision. The tool does not replace God. The tool does not replace obedience. It does not surrender for you, and it does not close the door on that counterfeit man for you. What heaven is doing in you is not conditional on any earthly tool, but a tool that restores the receiver, gives what God is doing more of what it was designed to land in. Let us return to the deeper current of what heaven is demanding of you today. And for the chosen one who felt something stir when the mind was mentioned earlier, that door is still open in the description. It is a small step, but small steps taken from a clear mind have changed entire seasons. The resource from the team is placed in the description and pinned comment for those whose spirit confirmed it. That is the only place I will mention it. What remains in this message belongs entirely to the spiritual sealing of your deliverance. Chosen one, as we enter this final movement of the message, I need you to silence everything around you. Stop whatever you are doing and anchor your spirit completely to this present moment. We are about to step into the courts of heaven to execute a divine severance. Place your hand over your heart right now. Feel the steady rhythm inside your chest. That is the rhythm of a survivor. That is the pulse of a cycle breaker who has endured the fire of the enemy and absolutely refused to burn. Take a deep breath and hold it for just a second. As you exhale, release the heavy armor you have been wearing for months. You do not have to fight the spiritual battles of that counterfeit man anymore. The watchman is officially allowed to rest from this false assignment. We pause right now to thank the Most High for the holy interruption that intercepted your path. We thank heaven for the divine protection that felt like severe heartbreak, but was actually a massive rescue mission wrapped in human disappointment. You are allowed to forgive him and still move forward, without ever reopening the door. Forgiveness does not mean giving him access to your sacred ground again. You are simply releasing the poison from your own veins. Speak these exact words out loud in the quiet of your room. I release the need to heal what was never mine to carry. I sever every hidden soul tie and every invisible agreement I made with the counterfeit blessing sent to drain my anointing. I command every piece of my divine energy that was siphoned away to return to my spirit right now. I return his chaotic frequency back to the darkness where it belongs. I close the door on the assignment of confusion, and I seal my energy field with the ultimate authority given to me by heaven. I am a celestial being operating on a kingdom assignment, and I refuse to lower my vibration to match a lie ever again. Notice your shoulders right now. They just dropped. Notice how your breathing is becoming steadier and incredibly lighter. That calm is not something you created on your own. That is the physical manifestation of the heavy atmospheric chain literally breaking off your neck. The angels are actively removing the spiritual weight of his presence from your living space. The thick fog is lifting from your spiritual eyes, and the piercing clarity of your true calling is rushing back into your mind. You are not a human rehabilitation center for those who refuse to walk in the light. You are not following a plan, you are the plan. You are a demonstrated warrior of light, operating in enemy territory, and your profound gentleness was never meant to be a permanent feeding ground for deception. Your light was meant to shift atmospheres, not to be smothered by someone hiding in the shadows. Heaven is officially pulling you out of the wilderness of confusion and placing your feet back on solid rock. Type the words, "I am free," in the comments below as a physical sign of your spiritual obedience. Typing this is not just leaving a casual comment on a video. This is your personal signature on the relocation order issued directly from the throne room. You are giving heaven permission to complete the move and sever the final cords. The angels are waiting for your active authorization to sweep the remaining static from your life completely. Pause right now and whisper the words, "I receive it." That single act of agreement seals the decree of heaven permanently in your spirit. The counterfeit has lost his access to your timeline. Your sacred ground is fully secured and fiercely protected. The season of walking blind is officially over, and the season of unstoppable clarity has just begun. Many would have walked away when the words of this message became sharp and uncomfortable. You could have easily closed this out when the truth about him started to confront the hidden places in your heart. But you remained, and that matters more than you realize. You have passed the ultimate test of discernment. You looked the deception directly in the eyes, and you did not flinch. The heavy fog that kept you second-guessing your own spiritual sight is completely lifting from your mind right now. If this message confirmed what your spirit already knew in the quiet hours, take a moment to like this video as a small act of faith. Do it not just to interact, but so this exact frequency can reach another chosen one who is still struggling in the dark with a counterfeit blessing. Subscribe to this channel right now, because heaven is not done speaking to you, and you cannot afford to miss the next instruction when the new season officially begins. Share this message with someone who has been unusually quiet lately. Someone who might be trapped in the exact same spiritual ambush you just broke free from. Now we come to the last door. What you decide to do in these final moments will determine who has access to your energy tomorrow. The specific key required to keep this door permanently shut against the darkness was named earlier, and I have not returned to it since. It has not moved from its place. And everything that was waiting behind it, the genius switch, is exactly what it was when I first described the restoration. It is $39 to walk through, accompanied by a guarantee that costs you absolutely nothing to lean on, with the full restoration of the cognitive receiver that God designed for you waiting on the other side. The path to access it is located in the description below and in the comment pinned to this video. Both point to the exact same door. Neither one will announce when it closes, but the enemy is desperately hoping you walk away right now and forget it entirely exists. Your kingdom assignment is far too heavy, and your calling is far too vast to operate on a compromised frequency. The season of shrinking your immense light to fit into the small and chaotic spaces of broken people is officially over. You are no longer available to be a stepping stone for spirits that refuse to do their own healing. Heaven is building an empire of peace around you, and a foundation of peace cannot be laid on top of constant confusion. You are stepping into a dimension of accelerated fulfillment where doors will open that no man can shut. The things that were delayed because you were tethered to the wrong person are now being released from the courts of heaven. The true connections, the true spiritual union, and the authentic provision that belong to you are tracking your new coordinates right now. Because you chose obedience over comfort today, heaven is removing the final obstacles from your path. I speak a final blessing of impenetrable peace over your physical body and your spiritual mind today. May the quiet moments in your home no longer feel like an unseen battlefield, but a fortified sanctuary of divine presence. The atmosphere in your living space is currently shifting from heavy warfare to absolute stillness. God is standing as a guard over your mind, ensuring that the chaotic energy you just released can never find its way back to your door. When you lay your head down to sleep tonight, you will not wake up at 3 in the morning with a heavy chest or a racing mind. You will sleep the deep and restorative sleep of a watchman who knows the gates are finally secured. The counterfeit is fully exposed, and his hidden agreements are turned to dust. The toxic tie is permanently severed. The receiver in your mind is cleared for divine instruction. Walk in your unshakable authority today, and do not ever look back.